It's casual family.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I just want to say thank you. Yesterday, for everybody that showed up and that was amazing. And some of those transits on some of those charts were so literal. So, eclipse usually bring pretty cool things. A lot in the collective, but also just like it can happen personally too. I'm glad you're all here. Doretha, I'm glad you're here. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so we did finish all super chats last night, yeah? Except for Maricela, or no, we finished everyone?
I think we finished.
Okay. So we have good morning, Tanya. I see this for your husband, Mark. So let's put Doretha in, and then we'll do Tanya.
Okay.
Oh, she's already up?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Oh,
Wait, let me have Lee say hi.
Hi.
She got up early to do all this for all of you.
I have a bat in my hair today.
I will be doing the astrology portion, and I look like this. So again, she put like an hour in, and I put like 7.5 minutes. But I love you all very much. Yeah, so this works out anyway in the morning for some of the people in Europe stayed up like crazy. But I know that for some of you it was literally not possible. Okay, so we're talking about the eclipse. Yeah, you want to change that, please?
Do I need to get that one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're talking about the eclipse that's today. It's at 1:24 Pacific. It's at 4:24 Eastern, and then for those people in like Australia, it's happening tomorrow morning. Hi Verity. Hi Dolly. Oh my goodness. Can you? Let me put my thing on. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. So we have a 5-degree full moon in Taurus. The moon is exalted in Taurus. It's comfort, it's possession, it's taste, touch, feel. It is the extra creature comforts. It is slow moving, like molasses, very sweet, and wants to be comfortably where it is. And then it's kissed by Jupiter, and on the other side we have that 5-degree Scorpio sun, which is then being emboldened by Mars, its ancient ruler, and Mercury in a conjunction close by. And that Jupiter and that Mars are complete opposite. They are opposing each other at 11 degrees. We also have Saturn in the mix at 0 degrees in Pisces. And Saturn will station soon, but it's still retrograde, but it's still talking to that full moon. And so the self-actualization, Taurus likes to bring things into reality, to make it, thanks, Moanne, to have something to hold on to, the possessions, again, the comfort, the security. And Jupiter is opportunity and luck and expansion. So, we could bring things in, right? In the bigger scope, in one expression of that, we could be bringing things in. And then the other side of that seesaw is Scorpio with Mercury and Mars. It doesn't want the dream, it wants the reality. And it wants you to know what the reality is. So, and full moons are about everything feeling so full that it's going to overspill. It's why the ocean waves are so big during a full moon. It is that energy to release. It can't take anymore. It's as full as it's going to get. And that's why we talk about full moons are for releasing. So we have one side of the seesaw that wants to, be overfilled with everything it wants and possession and joy and touch, taste, feel. And the other one is ready to like spill secrets and keep it real. And so it's a very interesting dynamic. Scorpio, the tone of Scorpio on the one side of the seesaw is very like careful what you wish for. And the Taurus is it's indulgent. A Taurus moon with a Jupiter conjunction is indulgent. So what can we maybe have the opportunity to indulge in, and what is going to come along and try to put so much reality into it that it could possibly turn slightly unpleasant, whether that's in disappointment, whether that's just someone else not being happy for us. It's going to depend on each person's chart, and we will look at that. I promised myself I wouldn't go more than 2.5 hours. We almost went 5 hours last night, which is crazy. Good morning, Jody. So this is a very interesting full moon, and then on top of it, again, we have Saturn, which is making a trine to that Scorpio sun and a sextile to that Taurus moon. And so it's asking us to be really, really self-aware. And if we are really, really self-aware, my humble opinion is that, like, if we are self-aware, if we've already done the work by the time this moon hits, and the work isn't just, have you done the work? Have you sown the seeds? Have you done that? But on top of that, are you self-aware so that when that thing comes in, if you're disappointed by it, was that your expectations? Or were you self-aware that you can't make other people do the work? You can't do the work for other people. Did you build it up so much, but by the time that you're getting it, it feels lackluster? So all of that is about self-realization, self-actualization. And so it's just been super interesting. If any of you were here last night, which I know some of you were, about how that played out quite literally in different people's charts in very different ways. Okay, let's... I'm just going to put this on to make sure I'm keeping up with the comments on my phone. Here we go. All right, great. Perfect.
Can you see me, hear me?
No. That is not what we wanted. Can you find the right one and then make sure it's on silent? Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start with Jaritha this morning. And Lee, my gorgeous, beautiful assistant, if you just got here.
Hi.
She's full on vampire. I'm pretty pale.
I figure I just have my own teeth.
Yeah. She's full on. That was such a okay. Like, I'm still trying to. I was distracted by what you just said. But so she's going to be taking in all of your birth info. So if I seem to like not be acknowledging it, and if I seem to like not be paying attention to the fact that you're saying like, hey, I'd love to have my chart read, just know please that she's on the chat and she's manning the astrological software. Okay, so Doretha. I do adore her. I've had the chance to sit with her. I hope you're able to, I wanted to make sure that you were first this morning. So we have this, I'm going to look over here too. We have this for you. Yes, she has Chiron on the ascendant one. It's in that 12th house. We have this for you in your first house. So Doretha, I mean, my first question is there behavior you're accepting from other people that you're it's time to end? If there's weight being put on you by another, something that there's commitment around, and I don't have to tell you, our Saturn is almost, it's 1 degree off. So on top of this full moon, I know that Uranus has been running over your Saturn again and again. And I can tell you that that is not fun. And that's been going on for a little while now. This last retrograde, when this Uranus retrograde ends, it will not be running over or coming close to your Saturn anymore. And I just wanted to tell you that, because that Saturn is also in the first house. You're being asked to take care of yourself. Okay. Okay, honey. And you should just email me, in case you need to, expand upon that in a private session. Just email me. We could worry about the rest later. Because you have a lot of things going on, like the South Node sitting on your Jupiter. You do have Venus on the moon though. And that Saturn, your North Node is being sextiled and trined by this full moon. And Jupiter is also trining your Venus. Where are you on practicing your gifts? Are you not having the opportunity? I would also, trying to say this, well, we could save a lot for a private session, but I would be really careful about, like, when I talk about the Temperance card in tarot, it's an overcorrection. Okay. Yeah, okay. It's an overcorrection of something that's fearfully, if it's out of balance, it takes everything, takes you out of balance, takes something important. has to be held in balance. It is really, really time, and I know it's crazy for me to sit here not dealing with what you have to deal with. Let's be honest. For me to sit here and be like, it's time to take care of yourself and put time into like making sure whatever you're putting into your body, however you're eating and taking care of yourself, I we're a couple of weeks apart. So we're both 53. I have to struggle to make sure I'm getting all my supplements and that I'm doing whatever I need to do to keep me healthy, and I'm worn out and drained a lot. I can't imagine putting a 1-year-old on that. And I'm sure there's so many moments of love and smiles and joy, but I want to implore you, especially with Saturn. Saturn is going to ask you to be responsible to yourself, especially Saturn and Taurus. Just please don't. And again, I understand, like, I have to say what's realistic if that's the situation. If you could find some kind of community or support group, whether it's for grandmas raising their grandchildren or whether it's for just women your age, our age, whether it is something to do with your health or spirituality, please find some kind of support group that is going to help you keep your balance and a place to vent, because otherwise this could spill over. Have you had any issues with inflammation? I mean, a lot of this does also come down to worth. It's a pattern, right? Of like sometimes how we'll let other people treat us. And even when we heal and even when we know better, the more we've had to heal from, the more empathy we can have for another person making a decision out of pain or out of trauma, right? And so when you have the level of empathy that I know you have, even healing the trauma, even healing some of the self-worth, even healing, and just, we've had our Chiron return, and, we talked about that last year for you. Even when we've done all that, it's still really hard to execute those boundaries in a way that makes us feel like we're doing it without empathy, because empathy is what we also needed the most. This is asking you to be responsible to yourself, and especially, and I know you have to be responsible to that beautiful little baby, but we want to be responsible to you before it could spill over into anything physically on your body. And I want you to email me, and we can just, I would be happy to meet with you, and let's see what we can cook up together, so that you've got some kind of support system. You know my email, babe. You know my email. Let's move on to Tosh. Yes. We have everybody on the list. Can you? Yeah. Well, can I have your notebook? I'm going to attempt. Not only is she up, this is early for me. We have Doretha, we have Paula. Teresa But I don't see Teresa in the. You're welcome, Doretha. Please make sure you get in contact with me. So let's get you set up for like support because you deserve it. You're doing a lot. Delarin, James, Gemini Love, Jacqueline, Anastasia, Jody Lee.
These
Venus.
are all rewritten on this side.
Oh, Venus energy?
Yeah.
I didn't see her.
Venus.
Oh, we have more than one kind of Venus, so.
Oh, okay, that's Venus energy.
Okay.
Just write it on the other side, so it's energy Venus.
Got it.
Is that 66?
Here you go. So that's what I have.
27.
That's what I have. The Chiron return will kind of linger a little bit. All astrological transits. Are you here, Tanya? Tanya with an O. Getting ready to do your husband Mark's chart. So hopefully you're still here. When we go through astrological transits, whether it's an eclipse for us that everyone's having, or our own personal Chiron return, or a Saturn return, or Uranus opposition especially, the degree of how extreme that transit feels is the degree of resistance we give it. I know that there's like, the quote is floating around all social media, but like, that quote of, you know, the magic that you're looking for is hidden inside the work you're not doing or you're avoiding. That's it, that you're avoiding. And it doesn't, because I hate the word lazy, and I've said that before and I'll say it again. You know, I don't like the word lazy. I don't believe in it. But when we say the work you're avoiding, we're talking about we're talking about the resistance to self-actualization, to stepping into authenticity, whether it's going to be great for the people around you or not. That just seems almost rude to ask people to do that. But every transit that you experience will be what feels like the severity of the transit, or the unwanted changes of the transit, or the uncomfortableness of the transit. Whatever feels like that will be exacerbated by your resistance to it and what it is trying to bring you. I hope that settled on whoever it needed to. You're welcome, Jody. Okay, so let's look at Mark's chart.
And Mark is here.
Oh, that's interesting. So he's got the opposite of you. So he's having this in his second eighth, but opposite. I'm looking at the transit still. Huh. What's going on for Mark at work, Tanya? He needs to ask for a raise. Promote himself, demand a promotion. Oh, right on the Mars in the 6th house. What's going on with... Hi, Ashley. Yes, I'm only gonna be here till noon today because I actually have appointments and other things scheduled. Okay. Yeah. The good news is that there should be, so you want to be like aggressive. You got a 10 position. That could turn into something. That could turn into something, but also like look into, and I don't know how old Tanya and Mark is. Tanya or Mark are, I should say. Oh, guys, it's still morning. Emily just pointed out to me that, like, indeed, the birthday is on the birth chart, Mom. You can just look. Okay. Oh, yeah. Wait, no, let me go look.
Tanya is 67.
Okay, so this year you are having your, yeah. So this year you are, yeah, it probably will turn permanent, but I'm going to tell you that you're having a Saturn return. You're having your second Saturn return. I just got done saying, right? So like, I love this. This is perfect. Universe giving us the opportunity to expand upon what I was just saying. That second Saturn return can be all like, Saturn is also the wisdom we glean when we self-actualize, self-govern, and really understand, be self-aware. When we are responsible to, and this I find so ironic about Saturn, because Saturn is all about structure, right? And in the collective, it's all about like control and other things. But Saturn really asks us to be responsible to our authenticity and to our mission and to it's where we put in the work, whether it's begrudgingly or happily. It's also where we can burn out when you have Saturn in the 6th house. And Astrologer taught me this. You could work so hard and then burn yourself out. Work so hard and then burn yourself out. So there's a lesson in that for you. Once Saturn comes out of retrograde, it's going to start moving pretty fast towards that 16 degrees. What are we in? We're in like 9 months into Pisces and Saturn. So within the next year, that's going to hit direct. This is your time between now and then to like the work that Saturn is going to ask you to do between now and then when it hits exact is, Juan's not keeping the list, honey. I have my daughter is doing all that. The work that it's going to ask you to do is like also be kind of brave and maybe start something, do something. There's something about updating for you, Mark. This is going to turn into something permanent. If there's something more you want, going after it and going after it in a way that is unrelenting is kind of important. It's belief in yourself, and that you are not the lesser when you're in a room of like people who are maybe qualified for something or anything. I mean, I can see you have Pluto on the ascendant. So I know that you have felt washed over by the waves again and again. I also have Pluto on my ascendant. I get that natal chart placement. And you also have Uranus in the 1st house like I do. Lots of life changes. It can make us feel a little less stable when you have that much change in your life all the time. Those 2 placements, both so close to the ascendant, that's a lot of change. Now, there many times, I am sure. So then what that can do is knock us off our confidence of feeling like we're more qualified for something, because you and I especially grew up in a time where success was doing the same thing forever. A successful marriage is one that never breaks up, right? They stay together. Nobody looks at whether, when we were younger growing up, nobody cared if our aunt and uncle were happy. We just, oh, we're celebrating 50 years, right? Nobody cared if the aunt felt like, well, this is my only choice if I want a roof over my head. Nobody cared. Success never looked about healthy or happy. Those were not factors. And if you're around, if you're Gen X, and or you relate in any way, no matter what your age is, certainly I would think any boomers in the room would agree as well, that success was how long you kept something. Success was how long you kept something, not whether you were good at it, whether you were happy. And so when we have a lot of changes, when we have a lot of big changes, when we feel like beaten up by life, other people can look at us as not successful. I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think that's how I don't think we're looking through that lens anymore in society. But when that has happened and we're our age and that longevity, especially Virgo rising, I know you're hard on yourself too. I know you're hard on yourself. And so, and that I almost didn't do what I did last night. I was terrified because I'm putting myself out here, and what if I'm wrong? What if I say something and I'm wrong? It's a very Virgo rising thing. You have Virgo rising, you have Pluto right on that ascendant, you have Uranus in the first house. That's a lot to sometimes make us feel like we're not qualified to do something. There's something about confidence and actualizing. Because you've had more changes, you have more life experience. Because you've had more changes, yeah. So, and because you've had more changes, you are the best person in a crisis. You are ripe for one of the higher positions in whatever company you go to. Because if you have Pluto on your ascendant, and you have, yes, good. I love this. Okay. So if you have Pluto on your ascendant and you have Uranus in that first house, you're qualified to run shit because you know how to take punches. You know how to take changes. You don't just, it's like focus groups, right? Like you could take somebody and say like, oh, look how well they function. And look, they do so well with that. It's like, you have people who function well when everything is set up for them. And then you have people who are like, I don't know how to roll with the punches. I don't know. I can promise you, and my daughter could probably, when things are the most nuts, I'm like, we got this. I got this. You are the crisis person that everybody needs. You are the crisis management that every company needs. Like you have such big natural qualifications. C is right. Okay, so this is what I'm talking. The first thing I'm getting about all of this, your astrology, and what I'm feeling is that you have to correct your mindset. You have to correct your mindset about your qualifications. You should go in there with the big energy of like, let me explain to you. There is a level of fighting for your self-worth to bring the money in that you finally deserve. You are overdue. Virgo risings can work like a dog and accept less than they deserve. And that is a hard habit to break. Is that ours outside the window?
Maybe.
So that is something I want you to work on. You can let her in and take a. Actually, can you just put the next person in? So, Mark, you're gonna need to fight for. If you've asked to be on the list, then you're on the list. I promise. I'm gonna have her walk away for a second. So you have to fight. Not only just to stay. I think you will get taken on. where you're at. Also, I know you're married to Tanya. So, and so you have that moon Jupiter in your house of other people's money and partners' money. So like either way, you're going to be okay, right? Right now, either way, you're going to be okay. There are moves being made in your home that afford you a small cushion to fight for what you deserve and to do more like you've always wanted to. But the thing that's holding you back now is that you have to understand how qualified. And I promise you, if you're a Virgo rising, I'm going to invite you to celebrate your expertise and your qualifications and your life experience the way other people celebrate their mediocrity. That's beautiful. So like, it's great, you know, I have a little cheat sheet here because I did your wife's chart last night. So, but what I'm saying is I know that like right now you have the cushion. Right now you're having your second Saturn return. Right now you're set, especially Saturn and Pisces is asking you not to be mutable, not to be not heard, not to disappear into the wallpaper, not to just follow status quo because you may think that you are not anything special. It's knowing what makes you special and knowing it's the thing that other people weaponized possibly against you, that made you look or feel less stable, or that they thought it made you less qualified. No, that's wrong. That's just mindset. Those aren't facts. So like, you're going to straighten your spine. You're going to walk a little taller. You're going to demand, like, all of this is kind of like your birthright through your chart, right? Like all of this is there for you. And so you're just going to go grab it, right? Did you ever do one of those carousels where you have to grab the brass ring? It's time. It is time. I hope you and Tanya will check in. You can check in privately. You can go to my website and contact me. And by the way, I haven't said it, but if you put your little phone up to that square, the QR code, it'll take you right to my website. But make sure that you contact me and you guys let me know how you're doing. But dude, go get it. Go get it. The things that people would weaponize against you are all the reasons that you're the best person in the room. Okay. Okay, we have Ashley. Ooh, Ashley is next. Hi, Ash. You're so welcome. And I'm sure that other job will be permanent, but I just don't think that's enough for you. And you're going to be great. Okay. I'm only going till 12 today. So we have an hour and 15 minutes. And I'm going to do, other than the list of people that we already had people on the list. So the only thing that can bump you on the list is Super Chat. But we're on to Ashley, who I believe was like, she should be right there. Okay, so Ashley. This is happening your 3rd and 9th. Are you back home? I mean, did you come back to America? Yes. You know, I have a really good friend who was kind of going through the same thing that you were a couple of years back, and I renamed them in our chat, in our messenger text. I renamed them the Something King. I won't say exactly what. It wasn't bad or salacious or anything, but it was just personal, so I'm going to leave that part out. But I named them the Something King just to reinforce it all the time. Or you could put an MF in the middle of your name, like, Mark, mother effing lasted. Just start saying your name like that to yourself. You know, text your wife and be like, hi, honey, it's me, Mark M. effing, and then whatever your last name is. You have to use that language to step into that reality. Trust. Okay. You are in Texas. Yeah. I know that Uranus is applying to, sorry, I'm just turning. I don't mean to be pushing you away. Oh, and you don't have to message Lee. She's right here. So she's got the other computer. We have another, for anybody just joining, there's a whole second computer, and I'm sharing the screen of the computer that's next to me. So I have to say, Uranus is getting ready to, when it goes direct, and then it'll apply to that 4th house. This is happening in your 3rd. Do we have your birth chart? Correct? Is it?
For Ashley?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're using a different computer, Ashley, so it's not the same one that I have.
72, Houston, Texas, 2:54 a.m.
Yeah, it's 2:54 a.m. Okay. So this is happening in your 3rd house. So the first thing I saw is that if you're not back home, you will be, what are you saying? Back in Mexico in December, maybe. Okay. I think you might stay a little longer. Where's that? That is. It feels like a little bit of a struggle, Ashley, between like where your heart and soul wants to be, where you feel comfortable, and where you need to be responsible. And it feels like it feels like there's confusion about what's going to make you responsible. It feels like you're doing the right thing, not against your will. You're doing the right thing, but it would not be the chosen thing. Please watch your health during. There's love here, and like you I feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, Ashley, 100%. Okay. But there's like an inner battle within you because you feel like I have to do this, but there's also some place that I should be. I just want to tell you that, again, I said this ad nauseum last night. Guys, this is not, I had a beautiful client say to me, how do I navigate this full moon? This full moon's so big. I don't know if you navigate it. You ride it like you would ride a wave. Good morning, Tina. Hi, Amber. I don't want to keep saying like you're begrudgingly doing the right thing, because like that makes you sound like not who you are, and I know who you are as a person. You have to be responsible to your body first. There's some kind of stress you're putting on yourself, and I think you will be there longer. This feels so destined, honey. This feels so like you'll be home a little longer than you want to be. Working on the frustration about it is really, really going to help you and your overall mind, body, soul, and your overall health. Hi, Maricela. That seems really important, because you're physically someplace, but you're feeling pulled or called someplace else. And on such a deep level, it's not just like I'd rather be somewhere else. It's not like the postcard, I'd rather be wherever. It almost feels like, feel this in my chest too. This almost feels like you don't want to have like your blessings blocked, or you don't want to have this mess up. Where you're supposed to be responsible actually feels caged. Yes. Okay. And so I didn't want to say that for you, my love, because I don't want to put things on you. Should have left in June, health issues. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep. That's everything I'm seeing. So, I want you to ride the wave, babe, because you're going to be there a little longer than you'd like, and that's okay. Something else good will come out of that, but it is the frustration that is also like, their frustration that's making it exacerbate. It's the resistance to what's happening. And if there's a delay, there's a delay for a reason, especially, sorry, honey, I didn't mean to bump into you. Okay. If there's a delay, then there's a delay, for, I almost, honestly, if I'm being honest, I almost feel like there's a delay for your safety. Like where you're going to go, you'll get there, but the delay that's happening is for your overall. I don't want to sound dramatic. Put an offer on a house and cried every day until I pull. Okay. Well, when you're ready, if you want to go look at, I have started going down the rabbit hole of astrocartography. Juan and I actually have an appointment tomorrow to look at his like harmonious conjunctions, because it's really interesting. You could live near a Venus line or a Jupiter line or a Mercury line, depending on what your goals are at this point in your life. But if you live on one side of the line, it could be sandwiched between like a Pluto or a Saturn line, and the other side could be sandwiched between Jupiter or Venus or the sun. If if anybody is interested, if you are relocating or looking to relocate, or even a vacation, it's extremely helpful. We can put your birth chart on a map of the world. It's amazing. Emily has all of her, I call them the Disney fireworks, where it's like everything comes together and it's like the most chance of success and relationship and happiness and all this other stuff. And hers are in Alaska. So maybe we have to take a trip to Alaska and check it out for her. I know I have a few Alaska people. They're mostly, I don't think they show up in the chat. I have like 3 clients in Alaska. But that's something we can look at. But Ashley, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Hi, May. Aw, good. I'm glad I was on point. Wow, that's wonderful. Good. I'm happy to be any kind of a catalyst. You guys all have the magic. You have the power. I know some of you think that I'm the magic, and you are all the magic. I'm just supposed to be an empowerment and catalyst conduit to your magic. That's my job. I'm not the magic. You're the magic. Okay, great. Vacation on my Mars sign. I did not expect to talk about this, so I did not resource her name out. But there was an astrologer who really, really, like, that's her whole specialty. She was talking about how she had all these amazing things and went to go live on one of her IC lines, someplace that she never thought that she would go, and she loved it, and she wanted, now she's thinking about moving there, because your IC line will feel like home. And but that she honeymooned on her Mars line without knowing, because she wasn't into this yet. And after a beautiful, wonderful wedding with a beautiful, wonderful husband that she's still with, she had the worst, most awful honeymoon. Okay. All right, girl. I think we have some emails too, but just know that it's for your safety. It is your safety that's keeping you where you're at. I don't know what that's about. Okay, who is next?
Next would be Teresa.
All right, maybe I'll go to 12:30.
Oh God, I didn't realize how much time had passed already.
You know what it is? Because when I stumble upon something, I would love to do like the information, like drop and run. But when I stumble on something that I see, that's wonderful, May. When I see something that I feel like I want to navigate gently, it's hard for me to like run through charts, especially if I'm going to be honest and give you the information I think you need the most. I don't like to like say something harsh and run like info dump, because that's could be triggering, and it's also just not helpful to be like, here's a present. Oh, you super chatted? Let me give you something to, that you don't want to hear, and then run to the next person. Okay. Teresa. Okay. Hi, Teresa. Oh. Teresa, you are in your, you are, okay. You're in your second Saturn return also, but you hit yours last spring direct. What happens when we have a Saturn return? Saturn return goes back and forth in retrograde so often. So what happens when we have, sorry guys, what happens when we have a Saturn return is it'll go retrograde, it'll hit a second time direct. So you're about to have your second. So a lot of things that have felt hard will ease off in the next couple of months, because your second Saturn return will be completely over. You will not have a direct hit again. So I know that doesn't have anything to do with the full moon, but Saturn was just retrograde on your Saturn. Now I know you're probably thinking like, my first Saturn return, if you knew that, hit last spring when it hit 1 degree, right? And now it just hit 1 degree retrograde. But because your Saturn is direct, your second hit isn't the hit when Saturn was retrograde. It'll be the second and final hit will be when it's 1 degree direct, which is soon. So we have this full moon is sextiling your moon, beautiful Pisces moon. And your Saturn is also trining and sextiling this full moon. And this is happening also, it's happening in your 3rd and 9th. So you have Jupiter in the 4th, but the moon in the 3rd. And then you have Mars and Mercury in the 11th, but the sun. So let me show you. I hope you all can't see those lines on the screen. Right? You couldn't see those red lines, could you? No. I made them go away now. So this 5th house is that 5-degree Scorpio sun. You can see the bags, people. Sorry, tripping on my words. The 5 degrees Scorpio sun, that is in your 9th house. That's going to be your belief systems, your ideologies. It's travel, it's other cultures. But at an interpersonal level, that's a lot about like hierarchy structures, where you could be somebody who's always kind of low-key been into spirituality, but now the question is like, are you going to publicly sit in your changes in belief systems and ideologies, kind of. This is a very personal transit for you. Where's your Mercury? Let me see. You have Sag Mercury in the 12th. That's just like Lana. We've been playing phone tag. Mm-hmm. Teresa, how are you about speaking up for yourself? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you work for the government, that your money would come out of the 12th house. Good morning, Rose. How are you with like holding your ground, speaking, like using your voice? Okay. So you have to be quiet about your belief systems. I don't know that you're supposed to be right now. Let's put it this way. Within the next month, you have no problem speaking up, because Sag Mercury usually doesn't, but Mercury in the 12th, it's a mixed bag. There might be a little conflict brewing, or it might not be you, might be the people at work or in your work, or somebody in a position of power, or somebody that is seen publicly. They're a public persona, at least in your job. That second Saturn return that's happening very soon may be asking you to stay staunch to your, like, speak up your beliefs, or that may come up and you may have a choice whether to, I know you work for the government, but don't forget that the government is the ones that has like cases on manifestation and codes and all of that. Like, they're well aware. And I know it could depend on like who your boss is and how that all is, but there may be a situation that comes up and you're going to have a choice whether to be true to yourself or whether to fit into the wallpaper. you know, again, a Saturn return in Pisces, except for yours isn't in a year like the gentleman's chart I read. This is coming up pretty soon. There is also, though, a really beautiful, beautiful do you have property, or are you thinking, it makes total sense. Do you have property, or were you thinking of getting property, or like getting a rental unit, or buying something to rent, or anything like that? Ah, okay. Yeah, don't forget, they know all that. They know about manifestation and all that. There's like document. You could like look it up on the internet. It's crazy. It's like a lot of people don't seem to know, at least a lot of people on my Facebook don't seem to know. But you know, the government works for us. So like anything that's a government document, if it's not redacted, you could just go look it up. We have access to that. Your husband want to move and keep your condo as a stream of income, do it. Do it. Yep. Absolutely do it. That'll probably happen for you over the next couple of months. For sure do it. It's money for you. It's good money. It's good money. Also, it's gonna make you more secure when things are less secure for everyone. It's gonna put you at a more peaceful place. It'll be a little stressful while you're buying it, but then like in 6 months to a year from now, probably closer to a year, you're gonna be like, oh my God, thank God we did that. Yeah, I can see it. That's why I was like, I didn't know. It feels like investment property. Yeah, all of that's great for you right now. Okay, let's put in. I should be telling you ahead. Yeah, that's all good. And just know that like there may be like not a confrontation, but a conversation that you just can't stomach, and you might tell your truth. Or somebody might say something to you, or call, and so you're just going to have that. Saturn is going to ask you to be responsible to your authenticity, and to not feeling like you have to hide into the woodwork with whatever when it's being triggered like that. Okay, who are we on? Amber. Okay. And who did we do last night at the end?
Amber Patrick.
This is I knew it was another Amber. Okay. Amber. You have this sextiling your sun, sextiling and trining respectively. Ooh, this is in your 11th house. That's so beautiful. Lots and lots and lots of healing for you, Amber. Hi, Lindsay. You're welcome, Teresa. I'm looking at all your other placements, Amber. Okay, so Mars is on your moon. This is all in 5th, 11th. You have a square from Saturn to your Uranus currently. So Jupiter and Taurus is sitting on your Chiron. The Mars and Scorpio is sitting on your moon. The Saturn and Pisces is conjunct your sun. And also squaring your Uranus. So you've got a lot going on. I'm probably sure you're like, yeah, I know, Sus. I love the moon in the 11th house for you. Have you been trying to get something going where you would be like on YouTube or on some kind of platform, some kind of, are you using the internet trying to launch something or trying to make it go bigger right now, Amber? Oh, should we add her? Amber, are you here, babe? We can come back to Amber.
Okay, should I go to the next one?
Yes, please.
Okay, that'd be Venus energy. Or Venusian energy.
Oh, okay, no, Amber's back. Okay.
Okay.
No, using it to learn astrology and herbalism, though.
Okay.
Are you interested, Amber, in so healing? What kind of astrology are you interested in? Because I feel like there's something that you know specifically, and I talk about this all the time, how in metaphysical practices, okay, yes. There's something that you know very specific, like, there's just like in medical practices, there's all kind of, even if you are a cardiologist, which is a specialty, like not just a general practitioner, right? If there's a cardiologist, they could be a pediatric cardiologist, they could be a geriatric cardiologist, they could just specialize in being a surgeon. Astroherbalism. Oh, okay, girl, why are you not talking about it? There's a really interesting TikTok creator, and her thing is like, hi, I'm taking astrology classes and I'm sharing what I learned because I think it's so cool, and I get done with class and I want to talk about it with somebody. And now it's like a year and a half later and she's practicing, and she like built her you're like Scorpio Aquarius with the way that you speak. Like you're ripe to attract the crowd that wants to hear what you have to say. Everything about you. There's something to cash in on here. Have you started any kind of platforms, Amber? Like, you should be. You should just be making tea. You have a hard time being in the spotlight. Have you been on TikTok? Go on TikTok and go look at some of my videos, because sometimes, you know, when I make videos, my day is so crazy and I think I'm going to make videos and I don't. And then it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. And I am making a video with zero makeup and my hair a little messy. So there's not really, like, that's what's so great. TikTok is based on your identity. Because I also do a thing where I help other metaphysical accounts, like, understand, like, the branding part, or I do the branding part, or I talk to them about, like, you know, Instagram wants this and TikTok's looking for that. And the best thing about TikTok is it's identity. It's identity. Oh, go. You are so, and the thing is, you wouldn't have to be polished. You wouldn't have to be like, hi, my name's Amber. I used to tell Connie Joe that all the time. Like, you don't have to, like, there's no script. You should not have to. You'd be like, hey, what's up with your cup of coffee? I mean, some of the best people that I even learned from are like doing videos from bed. People just want to hear what you have to say. They don't care, right? And so, like, not being in the spotlight, great. Don't film your face. You know, have it from a vantage point over your shoulder. Make your tea and talk about what you learned. I think there's an astrologer on there that goes on every night and read charts. I don't know what she looks like. I have no idea what she looks like. I mean, it could be a man with a high voice. I don't know what this person looks like. But everything, the vantage point is into the computer screen. So, but you have something, you have a knowledge and you have a specialty. And I could see that right away, honey. And people want to hear it. People want to know. People want to and I mean, certainly you would be welcome to come on here and share that information, or we could share your links once you have them. There's something to be cashed in there, and it's very healing. And it might be about your not being comfortable in the spotlight. You don't have to be in the spotlight. You could have very successful Instagram account and a very successful TikTok account and not show your face. I would love for you to just sit with it. I would love for you to just sit with it. You could probably go on YouTube and look up how I can have a successful social media account and not be, because you would have clients right away. Astro herbalism? Are you kidding? It looks like an apothecary from 1842 in my pantry. I have mugwort and mullein leaf and all of this stuff, and I know how to use some of it, kind of. I'm an astrologer who would love astro herbalism. It's really, I swear to God, you'll make a few and you can save them as drafts, but you're going to pick up your phone and just say stuff. That's the best part about TikTok. We're all in our pajamas. We all have no makeup on. Yeah. I would love to hear what you have to say. All right, you have to check back with us. You have to check. I am encouraging you. And I bet you know more than you think you know. But this is asking you to cash in on groups, communities, on the internet, and also on innovation. See? I bet you right now every single person in the chat is like, yeah. I mean, say something. Say something right now on the chat to I don't think I will mention that, but I don't think that's the looking at the chart. I don't think that's the yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in what you have to offer, and it's so rare. I could see that you do something that's very specialized. Also with Mercury in the 8th, if there's like you just don't want to even use your voice, or you want other people to recognize your voice, there's all kinds of options for that also. I would be happy to help you, propel you, to show you anything. I know more about that than I want to. Yeah, no. You could, and again, like I'm gonna use that creator that was in school. Yeah, see? That creator that was in school and is like, hi, I'm going to astrology school and I'm just going to share everything because I think it's so cool and I want someplace. So people just, I mean, there are people who built whole accounts just getting in bed at the end of the day and go, you know what really sucked today? You'd be surprised how many people are like, oh my God, yeah, I felt that yesterday. Yes. Okay. So if you have a hard time connecting there's all kinds of stuff for that. But you know what you know, and you probably won't know it. One of the best things that ever happened to me is that Lana asked me to come on her podcast. And I thought we were going to talk about one thing. And instead, we went back and forth. And I love her and Brent, who's her podcast manager. So he's always on there. And between the two of them and a couple of questions in the chat, it was like rapid fire. And I felt at the end of that, like, I didn't even know that it was so stored in me that when I got asked, I answered. But if you had told me to like go give a talk on something about some of the things that I was asked, I wouldn't have maybe been as confident. But when I got put in the situation, I was like, oh yeah, I do know all of that. and I feel the same for you. But you have that Mercury in that 8th house, like under the surface, right? And we don't talk about Bruno. So like but it's Aquarian. And you've got this beautiful, beautiful 11th house transit. I should move on to another chart, but you let me know how email me. And of course this community would support you. Yeah. So, I mean, that's also gorgeous 8th house energy, and that could be felt through technology. We're all feeling, I've never met any of these people in real life. We all feel connected. It's just opening your mind past the idea that you have to be anything but you. And I'm absolutely 100% positive you have tons of knowledge that people want. And that really only you have in the way that you have it. All right, keep us updated, Amber. We're on Venus energy. Hi, Anya. I mean, really, TikTok, there's a mom, and I'm so salty that her name is Susie. I'm thinking she's a mom. She's a woman in her 40s and 50s who's wearing a lot of Lycra and does not have a Victoria's Secret. Not that I think you should have to. But she's just some middle-aged white woman dancing in her kitchen. She doesn't say anything. She just dances like Buffalo Bob from Silence of the Lambs in some Lycra in her kitchen. That's it. Like, TikTok is wild. Like, I promise you, if you just go on for a while, you will not feel judged. There are people doing very well for themselves, let alone the like, hi, gang. Like, ooh, thank you for the popcorn. I mean, there are people going on pretending to be bots and making shitloads of money. It's TikTok. There are no rules. That wasn't an answer to your question. But I promise you, like, you're hyping up because you respect what you do, but you can go on there and be listened to very easily. I promise. Okay. Venus energy. So I think we're closing super chats because I want to get to the other people that were here last night too. So I think that we're going to, is this the last super chat?
No, right after is Shinigami.
Okay, which would have been also on my list of
Yep.
like people that were here last night. And then Maricela.
Maricela.
But Maricela was here all last night and didn't get read.
Then we have Paula. I haven't seen her in the chat.
Okay.
Delaran, haven't seen her.
James.
Gemini Love. Real American. Anastasia is the last of last night. These are all new.
Okay. So, all right. So, Anya, you can hang around. You know, I think when I got the email from YouTube that I qualified to start membership based on like watch hours and stuff, I didn't know what I was going to do. And now I think what I want to do is if I do a membership, there'll be like, maybe like an extended version, or we could do like private Zooms. I think like 2 private Zooms a month. One can be tarot, one can be astrology, maybe one for the full moon. And then if I go on here, then it'll be anybody that's not a member. I did not expect this to be this popular. Certainly, Anya, you can put your info in, and I think I see you soon though. But the list is kind of long just for the people who are popping in today, and I want to get to the people that were here all last night that did not get read. So Venus energy, are you still here? So you could put your info in, because maybe everybody will have to do something and you'll be the last one left. Venus energy, are you still here? Let's at somebody when we're putting their chart up.
Mine doesn't ever do the thing where it like.
It's because you're on your. It's because you're on your phone.
You're off the table.
Oh, let's show the. This is the one that no one ever sees, because she does not. Inside and peopling, not her things, unless it's very late at night. We would need a birth time too. Okay, hi Venus energy. But I think we see each other this week, Anya. So one way or another, we'll get to you. All right, so okay, so this full moon is in conjunct your sun and your Mercury. And you're another one. You have a split. So you have the moon in your 12th and the moon Jupiter conjunction. The moon is in your 12th and the Jupiter is in your first house. And you have the sun in the 5th and the Mercury and Mars in the 8th. And then where is that? Where are you keeping your feelings, Venus energy? Is there something you're not saying or not expressing? Like acting happy? Why don't you go let her out, babe? Before she tears through my office. Hi, Adva.
Come on.
I don't know what you're apologizing for. She goes into the lights. Venus energy, is there something that you're not expressing? It feels like there's a situation here where you feel like you're possibly being either wrongly perceived or if it's not wrongly perceived, then it's you don't feel like you're being fully heard or understood, but you're acting happy. This could be in a group setting. Like a situation that you want to be more comfortable in than you are. And I don't know why I feel like you're possibly putting it on yourself too much. Let me just grab something quick before you. My lips are hella dry. Okay. Oh, no worries, Adva. You got a new job you're not happy about. Okay. Okay. So what it looks like and then what it felt like to me is like I think that you're genuinely trying to make a situation better by being positive. And certainly you have that capability. But it feels like you're having a different experience than the people around you. But the people around you feel like you're having the same experience as they are. And that's just kind of going with the flow. So two things. One, that South Node is going to get off your Venus in the 6th house. And I really, really like that for you. Things will get a little easier once that happens. I mean, it's already pulling away, but it's really going to be... once we get to that 4 or 5 degrees of separation, which is happening in the next 8 weeks, you're really going to feel a release from feeling like you have to act a certain way or not pretend to be perfect, but like the people pleasing and like pretending that you're happy when you're not. There's a bigger lesson in this for you, my love. You're also going to have your Saturn return in the next year or so, your first one. The trick to not having the worst Saturn return ever is to not resist the authenticity that your chart is asking of you. And right now, it's asking you to not say you're okay if you're not okay. Hey, Jacqueline. Your chart is asking you to not say you're okay if you're okay. Because otherwise it's going to come out. Do you have a partner currently? Or you just said, right? Hold on. Let me read the whole... And ending a relationship. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. The ending of the relationship is okay because something is coming in for you, honestly, that I like much better towards the spring. You just had your Saturn return. It's in, yeah. When we are in the lingering of our Saturn return, the question is like, did we take the lessons? Did we glean the wisdom? part of it for you is, you know, Aquarius doesn't really pretend. Part of it for you is the not pretending. Don't pretend to be okay. Try that on. See how that feels. The fighting I mean, you have Mars and Mercury sitting on your descendant line. When you're in a group of people, not feeling the responsibility to be upbeat or happy if you're not happy, like that's got to become okay. The lessons of the Saturn return will linger. It's not like, oh, you have your Saturn return and a whole bunch of bad stuff is going to happen to you and then it'll be over. The Saturn return comes to show you things about yourself and how well we, again, resist or not resist what it's trying to show us depends on how long the lingering feels. You're going to feel a lot better in a couple of months. Also, the spring, I feel Venus energy. I feel a relationship. For you, this one needs to move, and that's okay. I want to send you a big hug. I mean, you've also got this in conjunct with your Jupiter. I mean, your Mercury and your Sun in that 6th house. So there are things moving right now for you or asking to be moved in how you daily speak and represent yourself. Also, your energy is going to get drained if you keep, like, not to the point that it's going to be like a health issue, but like you could start to really feel unmotivated, like in a not fun way. This is asking a lot of you, this transit. But it's asking you to stop moving on a daily basis in a way that is pretending at all, because it's gonna really, really drain you, honey. But there's so much relief coming. There's so much relief coming in the next couple of days, and then this spring is going to be a lot better. I hope that all made sense. All right, we're going to go on to
Shinigami Fall.
Okay, yeah. Shigama Fall, which Emily tells me.
Shinigami.
I say it the way I say it.
Which is Japanese for reaper or death. No, Shin is death. It's Shinigami is death reaper.
Okay, type. Hey, Jazzy D. I was up way too late because I had a bunch of work to do when I got off that live. The advice for spring is what you do now. The advice for spring to bring all of that in is to, like, not pretend you're okay. Be the resting bitch face girl in a meeting. It's okay. It's okay. What Jacqueline is saying. Oh, your fiance had his business. I said that would happen a year ago. Okay. I'm sorry, I was right. I had somebody, one of my clients who has gifts, say to me, like, I could never be an astrologer because, like, how do you deliver? Sometimes we get to deliver great news. Like, I see somebody coming for you in the spring. She says I can say it however I want. But sometimes I see, and I want to give the cautionary advice. I'm sorry that happened. It's hitting the fan today. I'm so sorry that happened, honey. Hopefully you felt a little prepared. And again, Venus energy, just to close, the advice is to be the resting bitch face girl. It's amazing because people will work harder to make you smile when you're the resting bitch face girl. I'm still trying to work on that myself, but don't pretend. If you aim for resting bitch face girl, you might end up in that middle of just not pretending. But yeah, honestly, that be yourself at all times. But that means don't be, if you don't feel like resting bitch face girl, don't be that. But for sure, maybe aim for that so you can recalibrate somewhere around not pretending. That's what's going to bring in the spring. And bring it in a way where you won't put yourself in a position to ever pretend in a relationship that, like, you're okay, you're having your needs met. These are all, it all ties in. It's all important. Okay. Shingami. Where's the fall part? Okay. Another one where you have the moon in the 12th and the Jupiter. This chart is so similar in the rising sign of the one we just did. We're sure that's right? That's crazy. Okay, so Oh, you and Lee are only like 6 months apart. No wonder she knows how to pronounce your name. Oh, it's 88. I thought that said 98. I don't have my glasses on for the small writing. Okay, so also, woof. What's going on with your relationships right now? You're welcome, Venus energy. Hey, Shin, what's going on with your relationships right now? You got that Mars-Venus pile up on the Pluto conjunct your descendant line. It's also, this full moon is squaring your Venus in the 4th house. Is everything kind of like not what it was like 6 months ago for you? A lot has happened. Yeah, I would think so. Feels like maybe there's a little struggle between like comfort with who you are inside the home. Have you been spending a lot of time trying not to be home so much? I don't know if that makes sense. It feels like there's a struggle to like self-actualize in the real world. I mean, you have the 2 rulers of your 7th house in a conjunction in your 7th house. Jobless for 6 months. Okay, yeah. It feels like that's going to move, honey. That's going to move. It feels like there's been more time. Yeah, trying. So first of all, we have Saturn sitting on the cusp of the 10th and the 11th. Pluto is coming. Your whole... Are you not doing what you really want to be doing? Did you like do the status quo of like what you picked out in the job fair? Are you thinking of career change? It's time for you to look in different mirrors at yourself. Like, it feels like a lot of seeing yourself through the lens of others. That's ending for you. When is your... Okay. Are you thinking of a complete career change? I mean, that is something you could. Are you working in technology yet? You went to school, did 9 years in science, moved 2 years ago. Career change, but not, you don't know what you want to do right now. Yeah. Another one, you have the South Node. Venus energy had the South Node moving off of her Venus. Yours is coming for your Venus in the 6th house. Same. Okay, weird. You've dabbled in social media. Being weird and wacky, and also understanding technology and applying to like the duality of things, and the fact that people have like a work persona and a home persona and how different those could be. There is... Bye, Charlie. There's something in that for you. There's like money for being childlike for you. It's all about like what's holding you back right now, and is that how you see yourself through the lens of other people? Like, clean the mirror, change the mirrors. This is a conversation that I had with a friend a long time ago. Is I said something to them and they said, "You just changed the whole trajectory of my life." I said, "No, I just clean the mirrors that you look at yourself in." And that's what this feels like. Especially that first 7th house, Mars, Jupiter. It feels like you understand the value of hiding away a part of yourself, or like having two different ways that you vibe, like different from home. Do you cosplay at all, or do anything around that, or like an alter ego. Like literally, yeah, there's something like being weird, wacky, acting, even like having a social media thing about like your alter ego, whether that's like a cosplay thing or just you're like super funny when you're like with two friends, but then when you're in public, you're shy. There's something about duality here. Um, it's just something that embraces the idea of play. I mean, also with your moon and your Saturn in the 8th, this childlike could also be working with kids. Like play therapists, something like that. You have a lot of it's like you're brilliant, your mind's all over the place, and you can I could understand why you'd have a hard time picking, because there's lots of things you could do and you'd be good at. It's not like I'm good at this one thing, this is what I'm gonna do. You always feel like an outsider at parties. That doesn't shock me. The most, goosey, juicy parts of you are the parts that you're really private about. That's why I'm saying there's something there is something here for you to explore about, and cosplayed would not be at a party. That's something somebody does. This one, it could be in her room. And it's, it's about, oh, my vibe is vampire today or whatever. It could be about like outfit of the day, and it's outside the box. You could, I don't know. The ruler of your second is in your 6th in the house of service, and then you have all of these. You're gonna transform your career. The thing is that you have lots of options open to you, but like anywhere from like play therapist to like making money through technology and the internet in a weird, wacky way that lets people be more than one thing. But you have Jupiter on your house cusp of your 2nd house. There's money for you, for sure. It's activating that. It's like walking into it. Whatever you're doing now is, there's going to be, I know you feel like everything's changed a lot in the last 2 years. I feel a lot more change for you. I see a lot more change for you in the relationship and career, but in a way that like when you look back in 2 more years, that you're going to like, thank God everything kind of like turned wacky for me so I could find myself here. Because, you're fixed angles. You have fixed angles. So sometimes for the fixed angles, meaning you're a Taurus rising, Scorpio descendant, and then you have Leo and Aquarius at your IC and MC, which are all the fixed signs. Sometimes change has to come for you because you won't go seeking it out. And so sometimes that's how the change comes. And I will tell you that you are much better off at your age having the change come for you and having these huge transits on these angles, because you're having big transits. You're having an eclipse on your angles. You're having a Mars-Mercury pileup on your Pluto on an angle. You are having Pluto itself visit a major angle. That's a lot. And you had a lot going on at the angle of your IC over the summer, which was crunchy. When this comes to move everything for you so that you don't stay stagnant. Because there are people, and I promise you, there are people in their 50s and 60s that have these fixed angles that still don't understand why life never brought them their happiness. This shakeup is going to be really, really good for you. But you're completely changing your career in like the next I mean, before the beginning of 2025. You're always waiting for the changes because you have no idea what to expect. So I'm going to say this to you. It's easy for me to say. It's an Aries moon. I have tons of cardinal and I have Pluto on my ascendant. So I've always never had a choice. It's just been boom, 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 change. You're going to do this? No, you're not. You're going to live here? No, you're not. So there's always been, you're going to stay married? No, you're not. Like, it's my whole life, right? Moving schools, moving, you know, all friends, all kinds of stuff. So it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but the way that you don't wait for the changes. Your career is going to completely change before the beginning of 2025. Are you in the driver's seat or are you in the back seat waiting to see where the car takes you? That's because the feeling like you have to be in the back seat, that's a recipe for anxiety. And having all of your traumas triggered all the time, feeling like you have no control over it. Okay, let's go.
So,
Maricela. Maricela, are you still here? She was like one of the first people in the room. I hope that was helpful, but your career is completely changing before the beginning of 2025. A very interesting chart.
We also have Paolo Ramos
right.
Delarin. And then
But they're not. Okay, so if...
James is the next one.
Okay,
I know.
James, so put James in. Do we have the birth info?
I'm pretty sure we have.
Oh, you forgot the J.
Oh.
Until Maricela says hi. James, you still here? Let's
We apparently do not have the information saved in this one. I thought we did.
Do you have it on the first page?
Mm-mm. No.
James, we need your birth info. I know you're like Scorpio on Scorpio on Scorpio, but that's not good enough to look up your chart. While we're waiting for James's birth info, what do you all think about if I start a membership? The first level can be like you get your solar return report every year. If you don't have a natal chart, you can get a natal chart or you can get it for somebody else. And then one closed like Zoom party every month for tarot. And then the second level would be full moon chart readings in a private Zoom room, which means everybody can talk, everybody can meet each other. What do you guys think about that? And then plus like whatever all the first perks come, plus it comes with the full moon Zoom for chart reads. You let me know what you guys think. I really, really want to know because, like, I'm probably not going to start a membership unless I know it's, like, really of value to everyone. So I think the first level is, like, the least expensive I could make it was, like, $2.99 or something like that. And then I guess the second level would be, like, $6.99 or something. They, like, have minimums. Okay. All right, cool. All right, James, you're in. Let's see. Oh, you have your sun conjunct your ascendant in the 12th house. Feeling misunderstood a whole lot. This is happening in your 11th. Well, that is good. I like that for you. This whole thing is happening in your 11th house. I'm so confused. I lied. It's happening in your 12th. Sometimes the illustrations that they do completely throw me off. Do you see what they did here? That's what, I'm not crazy. It's 6 degrees, 26 minutes. It's 26 degrees, 6 minutes in this one that they reversed. Yeah, look, that's 4 degrees, 24 minutes, but that's, do you see what I'm saying? It should be the degrees, then the minutes, the degrees, then the minutes. So I'm looking here.
Oh.
And they reversed it for no apparent reason at all right there.
With that one.
Yeah. That's why I was confused. Okay, I feel a little less crazy. Not a whole lot less crazy, but a little less crazy. All right, so it's happening inside your 12th house. The Mars is conjunct your Mercury. Just looking at everything, taking it in. I mean, it's also happening on your Uranus, but Uranus is actually in your 11th house. So that makes it really interesting. It's conjunct, it's separating, but it's conjunct your Uranus in the 11th. And also the Jupiter-Mars opposition is conjunct your Mercury in the 12th. The full moon is happening in your 6th. I feel like you're ready to tear your hair out for being misunderstood right now. I feel like you're doing a bunch of stuff. This chart, this looks like you're doing a bunch of stuff and you're trying to, like, no one understands why you're doing what you're doing. I don't know if this makes sense. Like, you also have fixed, it's funny, you have fixed, not everybody has all 4 fixed angles. You have a Gemini love, I will get to you today because I know you were here last night. Well, I think that if Maricela doesn't, I'm going to finish off with Gemini love because she was here like all last night because I said I was going to stop at 12.
Oh, right. Sorry.
That's okay. Sorry, Jacqueline. I have sessions, so I can't, I have somebody at 12:30 and I need like 5 minutes to eat and drink and all that stuff. Yeah, don't we all have ADHD? But it's not that. It feels like there's... Okay, so you have fixed... What's really interesting about you, as I was saying, is that you have fixed ascendant, descendant, right? But then, so that is like how you see things, how you feel people see you, and obviously like your committed relationships. Sorry, the total of like... yesterday with today is like, is it 8 hours?
Probably
2.5. Yeah,
it was like,
yeah, just shy of 8 hours of chart reading in the last like 12 hours. So I'm so sorry. But your IC and MC, those are mutable, which makes for such an interesting person in you. So there is You may stay in relationships that aren't good for you to stay in. Just being honest. And you know better. And you know better, but you will often stay where you feel misunderstood because you're misunderstood so often that you feel like, what's the difference? What's the difference if I have to go through all of this, right, just to get with another situation where I feel misunderstood? But it feels like you're doing a lot. Like the mutable ICMC, something in you pulled you. Something in you, I want to say this was like a year or so ago, pulled you and be like, okay, if I'm stuck in this one situation, I don't have to be stuck here. So I'm going to do something about it. Like you actually are trying to move towards something like higher calling, trying to change the, like, I feel like you're doing something out of the box. You're doing something to try to change the home situation, but I feel you are like, people are like annoyed at you or feel like you're not doing the right thing, or this feels like a frustration. Did Jody Lee?
She's on that list, but she's down here. She wrote in today.
Okay. James, does this make sense? Is this resonating? Because it feels like it feels even like if you get mad or you finally say your piece, you feel like it feels on deaf ears. You feel like it falls on deaf ears. It's like a built up frustration. I'm curious how that's working too with your health. You're younger than me. Jody, I said I was going to stop at 12. I'm so sorry. I was just saying, I think it's like almost 8 hours between yesterday and today. Yes. Okay. Did you super chat? I want to make sure, like, if you said super chats are closed. Okay, there's no super chat. Okay. That was my big thing. Like, I don't want anybody to give money and not get read. Yeah. It feels like an implosion. Right. I understand all that, but it feels like you're like, well, at least this is what I'm hearing, and this is like, again, astrology sometimes becomes part of the divination, but like what I'm seeing in the chart and then what I'm hearing is like, at least I'm trying to do something. There is a struggle here, and it feels like there are things keeping you where you are, and I understand that, and that happens so often for Scorpio and Taurus risings. Something keeps them in a relationship that really does feel unmovable. To work and to want to help people. Okay. You got to put the oxygen mask on yourself there. What's going on with your house? Because the Jupiter moving through, and I talked about this before yesterday, Jupiter moving through our 12th house would normally be like, our 6th house could normally be like a remedy to something with health or helpful to health. But here, because it's opposing that Mars in your 12th house, it feels also like a constant mental struggle about there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you're trying to get going. There's frustration. Okay, that's good. That's good because that 12-6 axis, especially because that full moon is the Uranus. And that, while the Uranus is technically in your 11th house, it's really kind of straddling that 12th house cusp, but Mercury and the Sun and the North, like, and you would do really well helping other people with mental health for sure because that empathy helps you. It's okay, but not great. Are you writing at all? Do you write? Maybe just looking at your chart, an ebook on your experience as a special needs parent, as the parent of a disabled child, as a parent that has suffered through what changes that brings. And okay, well, stop smoking. Stop smoking. Writing an ebook. Okay, just go for an ebook. Go for a smaller ebook right now. Also, those do well. I feel like could help you bring in a little bit of money, and the stability that you're trying to like change the home life and you want to make a change. Like you are like, I am not stuck in my higher purpose. And I know that I could bring change and like responsibility and something steady into the home. But you should be looking at an ebook, and hear me out. But you should be I know, like, not an affiliate program, but like you should start possibly a social media where it's like the company that distributes your book, not you, like completely separate. Because I feel a pressure for you to like put yourself out there, and then however that's received is not helping the health or the mental health or the stress or the anxiety or the feeling misunderstood. Okay, yeah, no. There's a million parents out there, special needs kids that have been medical parents, I am a medical mama. I've done the whole feeding tube, living at the children's hospital, all of that. If you write an ebook about like support that you need as a medical parent, struggles, are you a are you feeling that? That's perfectly normal if you're a medical parent. There is something about that. And the way you see that shadow journal, even though I feel like nobody should be aggressively looking, the shadow shit finds you. But the way that's being marketed, like, I don't even know who wrote that. I have no idea who wrote that. It's all over my FYP, but I don't know who wrote it. There is something about promoting it like you're the company promoting it, and not... There is something about putting yourself out there and feeling misunderstood that I feel like it would almost be better if there were like, you used like ChatGPT and Canva and AI and voices and stuff like that to make a campaign, let your book take off. It doesn't mean you shouldn't ever do that, but right now it feels a little fragile to be putting yourself out there and then feeling misunderstood and taking that like feedback as something that's reinforcing what doesn't feel good, where you have so much knowledge and understanding that could be shared and is valuable. Pick one. Also, God, look into 21-hour fasting and look into my God, what is the powder in the orange thing that I have?
Powder orange thing?
I will write it in the comments later.
Reishi?
No. I can't remember. There's
in your room or in the...
No, it would be in the pantry.
Nutritional yeast?
No. I really do have an apothecary in my pantry. Is it the bladderwrack root? No. No, it's like it's not gluten. It's gluto something. You just like put a little on your gums. It's a supplement, but it cuts cravings. Quit smoking. Quit smoking. Quit smoking. It's time. Focus on the one book. Get an ebook going. And there is glucosamine. Thank you, Juan. What would I do without you? But yeah. All right, Gemini love, and then I really do have to go because I have a 12:30 session. And I have homemade bagel dough in the fridge that I'm going to make this one pop in the oven. She just has to roll it like a donut and put the everything stuff on it. My protein bagels. 22 grams of protein. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, glucosamine. You can get it on Amazon. It's not even that expensive. One book, an ebook. You can make those for free on Canva. You can get a free account on Canva. Make an ebook for free. On Canva, you can make videos where you could choose an avatar. You can do voiceovers. You can ask ChatGPT for free to say, work like the best publicist, work like the best whatever. I'll see you soon, Anya. Work like the best whatever. You can ask it to work for you and write you a campaign to sell your book about blah, blah, blah. You can feed it, say it, I want it in this tone. You can even feed it something you've written before so it writes like you. And then you can... Okay, yeah, but you can do an ebook on Kindle. You can do a regular book on... but I'm just telling you, ebooks fly off the shelf right now. It's insane. Sell it for $6.99 and then 1 million people buy it. Like, it could be life-changing for you. But not putting yourself out there right now, it seems like a big message. Your chart and also what I'm getting. Because there's an unhealthy relationship with how that works for you then. So like be the company that's promoting your book and not putting your soul out there in a sense of waiting for somebody to validate and make you feel understood. Don't worry about that. Just focus on the supporting people. And I'm not saying that you're so focused on yourself that it's, if nobody loves you, then that makes the help that you're offering less valuable. Of course it doesn't. But right now, there's time for that later. Right now, it's going to be such a good boost for you in like multiple ways, James. And go look it up on TikTok, how to write an ebook, how to market an ebook, how to, absolutely put it on Etsy and use TikTok Shop and do it as the company. That's important in your chart. Okay. All right. Gemini love, are you still in the room? I'm going to start reading for you only because I literally have to. I have 10 minutes. This is beautiful, happening in the 11th and the 5th for you. See? There's already a community built. Don't forget, for all of you who, like, this is, I don't own this community. I don't say, like, you'll never hear me say my followers. You'll never hear me say that. This is a community that love built. This is a community that was, like, support based. It's all of our community. It's not, I don't own it. It's our community, right? It's the community. So when you guys are looking to, Amber, James, when you guys are looking to want to do something, hi Annika, this is your community. You're part of the pillars. You guys are all the pillars of this community. Okay. So happening inside, your Venus is caught a little bit between the moon in New York City, or Jupiter and Mars in this case. Gemini love. So I think we actually have an appointment coming up. If this is the same person I think it is. Oh, that North Node coming for your North Node. Do you want to say hello in Swedish to Annika? She's right here this time.
Oh God.
Just say hi.
Hello.
That's all?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Swedish.
Okay, do you want to say anything else in Swedish?
Sara bor I Oslo och drink vatten.
There you go. We go to Italy or any Spanish-speaking country, I'm it. We go to Sweden, she's the translator. You can grade her on that, Annika. There is like so big feelings, also anger, love, anger, I'm mad, I love you. She said, wow. There's something, this could be romance. I hope things have settled down there. Yeah. And but it feels, you know, Gemini love, this is all for you about beliefs about yourself. And fighting back. Why don't you feel like you can fight back? Am I hitting anything here? You have like long-term plans that you should be executing, that you should feel completely comfortable moving forward. There's pull on the other side a little bit. You're going to have a choice, especially over the next year, to go forwards or backwards. And it's all around your belief system of whether it's okay for you to fight for that. And it's okay for you to go forward. Let me know if I'm hitting something. I know there's a delay. And for anyone that hi, me and my shadow. For anyone I read for in the last, like, 14 hours, in the last 8, I think we said it's like hours? 7.5 hours of actual chart reading. If I read for you, if you could leave it, like, if I was accurate, if you could leave it in a comment on the other video or on this video, or anytime that, like, something I said, if you could leave that, because I would like to make a little thing of the more recent. I got really laxed about reviews. And so if you could do that, I would super, super appreciate it, because I know I gave like almost like 10 and 15 minute chart readings on some of these, but for the people that they were like, oh my God, yes, I would so appreciate you just leaving a comment, even if you do it anonymously. Yeah, okay, that is resonating. Okay, you're gonna have to make that decision. This full moon is about sitting with your beliefs about yourself. Are we seeing each other this week, Gemini love? Am I correct in that? Y'all have different names. And some people change their names on YouTube, which I totally get. Are we seeing each other this week? I didn't even do my lymph work this morning. James Pruitt, you're going to quit smoking. This is your conscience. You're going to quit smoking, James. Yes, okay. Oh, okay, good. So in like 2 days. Perfect. We're going to have a conversation about why don't you think it's okay for you to fight, for you to have your own future and to be happy and to move forward. Because that's definitely on the menu for you. So today, listen, that full moon is happening in an hour. Wherever you are, it's an hour. Whatever time it is now, it's an hour. You're going to, if I told you to let something go, you're going to write it down, you're going to burn it, you're going to give it to the full moon. You are going to ask for the full moon to bring you any powers that have been hidden from you. It's full moons are revelations, and with the Scorpio, with the Mercury and the Mars ready to spill, let the universe bring you its secrets. And secrets that you feel, especially if you got a full 12th house, people, or this is happening in your 12th house, ask for the secrets. If it's happening in your 4th, your 8th, or your 12th, where things kind of feel hidden, even though the 4th, it's like you're choosing what to hide. Ask for the universe to give you full access to your gifts. Do not hide anything. I'm ready. Ask for universe to take things away. If you put things on the water's edge and offer it up to universe during a full moon, where sometimes you feel like I don't want this anymore, and it comes back in a little wave. The big giant tidal waves of a full moon will take it out to sea. You have to be ready to let it go, though. You have to be ready to let it go. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad if anybody did not have the chance that I'm glad if anybody didn't have the chance, they at least felt like they got some info, or maybe somebody's chart was similar to yours or one of the placements. You have an hour. Go write down what you want this moon to help you to release. And sometimes that's like, I want to release the mindset that I'm not worth fighting for. that I fight for other people and I don't fight for myself. I have to release the idea that I have to do everything and I have to do it perfect. I love all you guys. Remember, this is the community that love built. This is what I wanted. This was my whole goal. And you guys are all the pillars. So like this community is here for you too when you're ready to try things out of your own. You're all the magic. I'm a conduit. You are all the magic. All right. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.